Keeling Curve is the daily record of carbon dioxide concentration that's been measured at the University of California, San Diego, a little over 60 years now. And you named your prize after the Keeling Curve. Why did you do that?
Because the Keeling Curve Prize is based on scientific records and scientific data. And what we're dealing with is emissions in our atmosphere. Greenhouse gas emissions are what's causing global warming on an average global temperature scale. And that average global temperature scale is the cause of climate change and weather disruption. So these things are all a part of a scientific continuum. And the basis of that is the measurement of our greenhouse gases in the atmosphere and oceans.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the Climate Change Disruptor podcast. We are honored today to have Jacquelyn Francis, who is the founder and executive director of the Global Warming Mitigation Project, which I believe you funded 2017?
Yes, I met with my co-founder in 2017 and said, I've got this idea, let's go forward with this. And the first two times I asked him, he said no. And then the United States pulled out of the Paris Accord and he called me up and said, let's do this. And so we did.
It's interesting, emotional, visual responses to events outside our own existence get us to the point of change. Where we're reticent to change beforehand for many reasons. And climate change and global warming has been that issue. And if we look at it over the past 50 years or so, we should have been doing a lot more a long time ago.
My first introduction to greenhouse gases was when I was in science class in middle school as a very young girl. And I remember my quite boring science teacher was talking about something and it resonated in my brain. And I looked over and I was thinking that this sounds really important, as he was talking about how molecules in our atmosphere behave, and that we've known about this for hundreds and hundreds of years. And he said these are accumulating in our atmosphere, and this is going to be a problem in our future. And this is something that I've been aware of and paying attention to since I was a very young girl. So it's not something new that, you know, some new scientist just came up with. It is something we've known about for, you know, probably around 2000 years.
Absolutely. I don't think that we have the same climate of disinformation that we did when we were children. There would be states right now that would ban that sort of education in America, and that's really sad. Let's go back to the Keeling Curve Prize, because you've given out over $1.25 million since 2018. But the fascinating thing is not that scientists and their companies have been able to leverage that money into over $1.1 billion of additional funding. So this is the perfect growth formula to actually get some change in the world, is to put seed money in and to give publicity. And that's an amazing thing that you've been able to do. So kudos for that. But did you see it working that way, or is this a happy sort of outcome?
I hoped it would work that way. And I have to tell you that those numbers have actually increased since then. We were just in the process of updating them. About a month ago, we gave out the 2023 Keeling Curve Prize award. And so now we've been Now that the number that we've given out is 1.75 million, because we gave out an additional $500,000 this year to the 10 new winners. And they have not even been included yet in, you know, valuation increases because they're new winners. But of the past 50 laureates, I've done the numbers on 16 of the for-profit ones, and we have about 50-50 nonprofit and for-profit winners globally. And out of 16 of the for-profit winners that I've been able to get accurate numbers on, the amount of increase that they've raised is over $2 billion. So it's staggering to see, the success stories that we've seen from the winners. And most of our winners have told us that winning the Keeling Curve Prize has been just magical in their growth. Because we don't just have the prize as part of what we do. We also have a internship program where we help the winners and the finalists with capacity building, and that's been astronomically successful. It's allowed these companies and these nonprofits to have a free intern that we pay for on our side through our own fundraising, that can add any kind of capacity they're looking for. And we have university partners, like all the Ivies and all the other, like a very diverse group of universities that advertises for us. And we get over 1,000 young people trying to get the internships. We have about 40 available right now for the fall semester, and it's been so incredibly and beautifully successful. So that's one part that we help organizations with. And then another thing is we help with introducing these programs and projects to other accelerator programs that we work with, as well as potential VC firms, investors, and philanthropists. So we're working on creating more money flow through the pipeline of vetted programs and projects. And we're working to increase the amount of projects that apply for the prize, because that's our whole, the hub of how we create success stories.
I think this is going to tie into your other piece of your puzzle, the Climate Impact Conduit Database Project. Do you have any updates on that for us? Because I think it's amazing that even the people who don't win the Keeling Prize, they're all eligible for this additional resources and connections that you can provide. And I think that that's really one of the cores and the keys to your exponential growth here.
We're about a week away from doing a soft launch where we're going to be putting all around 1,300 of the 2,000 programs and projects that we've deemed, like high enough quality to put onto an online database. And this online database will be managed by the organizations themselves as far as their profiles. And they put their profile information on there, and we do kind of a really, simple verification of, yes, we feel like this company is being honest here. And then that is going to be online and available to anyone who's looking for investment opportunities, as well as philanthropical support. You can look for, let's say, women-led organizations in South America, and it'll spit out a list, and it'll tell you the profiles of these organizations. So anyone, whether you're an investor or a family foundation, can do a little more of this curated resourcing. And we're also looking to work with investment firms that want us to help them with some of the additional information as far as introductions and some financial vetting as well. So that's going to be soft launched in about a week. And then we're going to have it open to the public by New York Climate Week, which starts September 15th.
It's going to be phenomenal. I think that's definitely the next piece of the puzzle. And I'm so happy that you were able to share that update with everybody, because I've been looking forward to it. And I do a little consulting with some wind turbine companies in America and in Australia. And it's so hard to get that, to get those connections, and the chase for the money, just to pay your bills is half of their week sometimes. And to have it all online and interactive is just going to hopefully help us mitigate climate change a little bit faster. So
And
that
more and more people are looking for these like opportunities for investment, and they exist. And I'm just so excited to be a part of trying to make that easier for people to find, you know, the investment pipelines and to find the projects around the world that are just doing amazing things.
and I think that we've got, you know, 4% of the population. We've got solar on our roofs, or we've got electric cars, or we invest in mutual funds that fund clean energy companies. But this is another way. This is taking it to another level for people, and it's not just the awareness, but the awareness is extremely important here. But the facility that you give organizations to interact this way, to do the right things, it's really phenomenal work that you're doing. And in fact, when you help raise money for prizes and causes and funding nonprofits, you call those friend raising events. And I think that that's a phenomenal branding, because your friends are going to obviously contribute on every level. They'll contribute resources, of course, but they'll also contribute knowledge, and this is part of your database building. So, how did you come up with friend raising?
You know, I can't take all the credit for this. This is something that, you know, I've heard other organizations use. And, you know, we need more people to be to have the trust to be involved in this space. You know, it's become so like confusing for people, and people need to understand that they do trust a future that's beyond something that they're kind of aware of right now, and that creates a certain level of trust that you have with your friends, and it also creates a certain education level that, you know, only your friends can bring to the table.
I think that by calling people friends instead of colleagues and collaborators, it does. It's warmer. It's more welcoming, and you do get to that next level much quicker. Is there anything else about the Global Warming Mitigation Project that you'd like to share with us today, Jacqueline?
You know, we also call all our winners and even our finalists that
Laureates.
we call them our laureates, but we also call them our family. And
Oh,
they're part of our human family. And it is interesting how when I do see them at certain events like you know, New York Climate Week, or possibly at the COP events, and I meet them like for the first time, they'll be so happy, and they'll say something like, "It's so fantastic to meet you, and I love being a part of your family, your human family."
and it's connections. This is you're taking networking on the advanced level to engineers and scientists and people who don't always communicate as effectively as they do with each other. So by involving them in this additional communication, you're making it easier for them to tell their stories. It's just a phenomenal uh, progress and process that you have done. And I'm just so honored that you've been on the Climate Change Disruptor podcast today. We'll be dropping a bunch of links in the information. And there is going to be, again, the competition for the Keeling Curve Prize, and it's always every late fall it starts, but it's a year-round process. Everyone applies in November, and then it's analyzed January, February, and then the 20 finalists are announced, and then we get to the final 10 usually, but it sounds as if some expansion is going on as we speak.
We would love to see it expand. I would love to see a Keeling Curve Prize Ocean, a Keeling Curve Prize India, a Keeling Curve Prize Methane, a Keeling Curve Prize Youth. We'd love to see it expand. I mean, more people need to understand that this is the future, and they want to be a part of it, and they want to get involved, and they want to get excited about the opportunities. So that's, that's a fantastic thing. We open the application process for the Keeling Curve Prize International November 1st, and it closes February 10th. So those are just the exact dates. Then we do the analysis. We announce the finalists somewhere around Earth Day, which is April 21st. And then we have the winner's announcement, usually sometime July, by mid-July. And we're very fast too at getting the money that we've allocated to the winners out the door so that it can help their organizations immediately to scale up.
Also, it's not just the money, it's the resources, it's the interactivity that you're providing. What an honor. We can all learn to do better by watching organizations like you grow. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you too, Ron.